Welcome to Two Girls, One Crime, the podcast where we peel back the layers of the darkest crimes ever committed, one terrifying tale at a time. I'm your host, Christy, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Kayla. Kayla, have I got a story for you today?
Can't wait to hear.
Have you ever heard of sweet Fanny Adams?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever ate mutton?
What's that?
Yeah, you would know if you ate it. Well, it's part of my story today. So we're going to start on Saturday, August 24th, 1867. Fanny Adams, age 8, was with her sister and her little friend, and they went out to play at a hops garden, which I'm assuming is for beer, if I'm not mistaken. It's what they used to make beer out of. I don't know. Anyway, so this was in England. The girls met Frederick Baker. He was a solicitor's clerk, and he gave them money to go buy sweets. So I think it was like 2 halfpence or 6 pence or something like that. But the little girls took the money and got separated. Well, Fanny did not make it back home, and it is a very brutal story. So hold on to your britches. Here we go. So Fanny's brutally murdered and dismembered in a nearby hop field. Baker returns to work with bloodstains on his clothes, because it's totally normal. I'm on my lunch break. I'm going to go kill somebody and go right back to work.
So he didn't try to hide it?
No. Honey, why would you?
No.
I mean, it's just another day, So the little girls couldn't find Fanny, so they went home and told Fanny's mom. Well, she ignored it at first and said, go back out and play. I'm sure she's fine. She was not fine. So about 7 p.m., a search begins. Well, they find Fanny, and it is not in good condition.
So how long after she went missing?
So she went missing around 1:30ish, and they found her about 7.
So that was quick.
Very quick. Yeah, so from what I heard, the girls went back and told Mom. Mom ignored them, but then when she didn't come home, they got worried. Well, her dad was out playing cricket, and Mom sent word and said, hey, Fanny's not home. We need to find her. Well, Dad come home, and they started a search, and they found Fanny not long after. So they walk in, and Fanny's head was stuck in between 2 poles. Yes.
Like fence poles?
Like hot poles. I don't really know what that is. Let's just pretend it was a fence pole just for sake, but I'm not really sure what a hot pole looks like, but her head was stuck on it. So he had completely cut her head off. She had her ears severed. She was cut from her mouth to her ear. Her head and legs were cut off. She had 3 incisions on the left side of her chest and the left arm, and it was so bad that it was dividing her muscles in 2. Her forearm was cut off at the elbow. I'm sorry, this is going to be, I should have given you guys a disclaimer. This is going to be bad. But her forearm was cut off at the elbow. Left leg was cut off at the hip joint. Left foot at the ankle. Right leg was completely just torn off. Not sure how he did that, but it was torn off. The contents of her pelvis and chest were completely removed. Her liver was cut. Her heart was cut out. Her vagina was cut off and was missing. Yes. Both of her eyes removed, and they were found down by the river. So I don't know if he was like washing them off to keep them. I don't know. Most of her body was recovered that day, but the next day, her arm, foot, and intestines were found, and one of her feet was still in her little shoe. Now remember, this baby's 8 years old, and all of this. And the worst part is they found her little left hand, and she still had the money clutched in her hand that he had given her to go get candy.
That's sad.
Yes. Her breastbone was never found. They gathered what they could and sent it off to get an autopsy. I mean, does it matter?
So all this happened in how many hours?
Just a couple hours, from 1:30 to 7 o'clock.
So he had to get down to it. He knew what he was going to do.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if he could come up on this kid or these 3 girls and liked Fanny the best. I don't know.
Like, how was she the victim of it, though? And not the other ones?
I guess he liked her the best.
So they just ran off?
Yeah, But the other girls went to get candy, and they
So he gave all the girls candy.
Mm-hmm. And Fanny, but for
she
some
was
reason,
the
she
one...
stayed with him for a little bit longer.
So she must have just been, like, friendly.
I guess. Maybe a little too friendly. I mean, this is savage. It's like she got eaten by a bear almost.
But somebody had to, like, you would think somebody would have heard it.
I guess not unless he cut her throat first, maybe, to where she couldn't scream. But either way, it's awful.
They would have had to seen something. Because what did he use?
Well, they say that he used 2 small knives, which doesn't really make sense to me either.
And how many hours? And you do all that?
Well, Sunday the 25th. So this happened on Saturday. Sunday the 25th, the police arrested Frederick Baker, and he still had blood on his clothes. And they found one of his diary, and his diary said, "I killed a young girl today. It was fine and hot." Yeah. So I don't think he was even gonna try to say that he didn't do it.
He didn't care.
No. He was literally out for blood. And he just went for it.
So did he see these kids before?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. He didn't say a whole lot. I mean, the evidence that they found against him, I mean, of course, his bloodstained clothing. He had a pocket knife with blood on it.
But you ain't going to do all that with a pocket knife.
That's what I'm thinking. Right?
So he had to have something.
And people seen him. There was multiple eyewitness testimonies that saw him just walking around town with blood all over him, and
nobody thought anything weird?
I guess not. He went right back to work. So a solicitor, he was a lawyer's clerk. So
well, here's your papers. And they got blood all over.
Oops, that was from my lunch today.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, how awful. So when he left for lunch, he had to have his tools with him.
They must have been somebody that, they must have frequently went
to play there.
Yeah,
probably.
And he probably watched them, and he probably planned it the whole time. But I want to know, there ain't no way he would do all that with a pocket knife. Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah. No, I mean, he had to have
and
some
even within that few hours time, that's a lot to do. So it would have had to been.
And for all that, I don't want to say work, but for the savageness, that's going to take a while. That's what
I'm saying. You're dismembering.
No, I stabbed you. Yeah, he literally tore her eyes out. And what did he do with her vagina and everything else? He's had to have had time to take it somewhere. Because they never found her breastbone or anything else. Her vagina and breastbone was gone. What did he do with it? Even after he was caught, where was it at?
Keep it with a souvenir or something.
But he had to stick it somewhere because they didn't find it afterwards after they got it.
Let's be through it because you said the eyes were found at the river. Mm-hmm. Let's be through it in there.
Could be. Yeah. So I've never went to lunch and been like, well,
I'm just gonna go kill somebody.
Should I eat my chicken sandwich or just murder this little girl and just?
That's like some cannibalism stuff.
Oh, honey.
I wonder if he ate it.
That's a part of the story I'll get to in just a second. So, Thursday, December 5th, in 1867, his trial began. It was held in Winchester, which of course is in England. The defense pled insanity, but the jury said, no, we don't believe that. You're not crazy. You knew what you were doing.
Exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely, he did. So that was Thursday, December 5th. Friday, December 13th, the verdict was in, and he was found guilty and sentenced to hanging. And they wasted no time. Christmas Eve, they hung him. He went right out back, and thousands gathered, and they killed him.
Well, I want to know what happened.
They didn't waste time. They didn't care what happened.
Well,
they said, you're swinging for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do know that they said when he was in jail that he had to be heavily guarded because Fanny's dad had got the whole town together and they were going to lynch him right there. Yeah.
Mobs.
Which I guess that was the thing back then.
It was.
Why did we stop that? Sorry, but
I doubt the crime rate would be high like it is now if they did.
I guarantee it wouldn't be.
Even with hangings.
I mean, you killed this little girl. Let's just let Dad do what he wants.
These people are having these protests. Let's go have our own.
Right.
And just
let me just
line them up.
Let me at them. We'll take care of it today. There's no sense in waiting. But the story takes a little bit of a twist. Oh gosh, this is so weird. But so you said you've never heard of mutton?
No.
So it was introduced in 1869, and it was tinned mutton, and it was introduced to British seamen. Well, it was awful. It's literally cut up nasty meat that's like mushed together. Not appetizing. Well, they hated it so bad that the seamen started a rumor that was actually Fanny Mae. It's slang for mediocre mutton. You got some nasty Fanny Adams there, and I'm not eating it.
So all this meat mixed together just to make a meal.
Yeah.
And they wanted to.
It was probably cheap meat and.
Well, kind of like what they do with prison. That's what they get.
Fanny? They're feeding Fanny to the prisoners? They need
Pretty
to.
much, yeah.
Wow.
It's like not like.
Do the crime, you do the time.
I don't think it's like real meat. Like it's legit just parts of things that nobody wants. It's like just.
Oh my God. I mean, whatever. So you're going to go to prison.
Mutton in prison.
You get your mutton in prison. You're sentenced to 3 years of mutton. How do you like that? So, but about the story, they actually have a song written about her, and we will put a little clip of that up. But it's the phrase "Sweet Fanny Adams" becomes slang for nothing or worthless, which is a grim reference to the case. But the murder did prompt discussions on child safety in England, so.
Oh, that's good. At least something come out of it.
Right. Yeah, but it's still sad.
So,
I mean,
did it say what her parents' thoughts on all that was?
I don't think that Mom was right after that, honestly.
Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been either.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Especially all those gruesome details.
Well, so during the trial, they also was trying to paint him as a victim of other circumstances. I know. So his father had been violent, a cousin had been in asylums, his sister had died of a brain fever, and he had attempted suicide after a love affair.
So like what they do now.
Yes, trying to find a reason
their
why.
childhood, which I mean, I get it. Like if you're raised up and you have so much trauma, I get it to a point.
I mean, right.
But then like to go to that, like what? Why are you that angry that you have to go and kill an 8-year-old and dismember them? Like it's one thing to kill, which I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but I mean, just killing somebody.
Well, there's a difference in
and just overly.
Right, this was overkill.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, he chopped her up,
and
like he took his time with her.
Because most of the time they say like stuff like that is personal. But
Yeah,
he didn't even know.
Eyes. But if you think about it, people thought that the eyes could take a person's soul. Like if you killed me and I'm watching you, I see you, you can still see that in their eye. That was a big thing too. Doesn't make sense, but I mean that was up to the Andrew Chikatilo, the Russian Ripper. He did that. He cut eyes out because he thought that the police would be able to identify him through his victim's eyes.
Well, that's stupid.
I mean, the whole thing is stupid. You shouldn't be killing 53 people either.
But cutting her vagina and everything, like...
That's sexual in nature.
That's what I'm saying. He probably raped her, too.
Probably. I mean,
But there's no evidence.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be anything.
Well, I wonder if he just was a pedophile and liked kids and he just went crazy on her. He couldn't hold his urges back anymore.
I wonder what the girls that were with her thought after all that.
Like survivor's guilt or something?
Yeah. Or like if they had any thought about him. Like, did they have any vibes about him or something?
Apparently not. He gave them money. They went and got candy. Everything was great.
So he must have gave them money just to get the other girls away.
I'm assuming.
And he knew that he was going to do that to her.
But I wonder if is this like a pattern? Has he done that before? Have they met him there before and he gave them candy or money just to get used to him?
To build trust. That might be why. Why would they leave her though? I don't.
Well, if you trust him, Fanny's like, hey, I'll stay here for a few minutes or whatever. Or maybe he said, I need you to stay. I've got to show you something else. I mean,
I hate
you never
stories
know.
like this.
I know, and there's of course nobody around to tell you anything. This was 1867,
and there's nothing there's nothing else on it.
Nope, this was pre Jack the Ripper, so it's been a couple years ago.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. That had to have been planned. He must have been watching her or something.
He had to, and once.
But I wonder why he picked her out of all of them.
I don't know. Maybe there's something about her that he liked. They were all the same age. Her sister was like a year younger than her. And
I wonder if he knew like the family or if there was anything like that.
Well, and you're a lawyer's clerk, so you know he's around town and everybody's used to him.
Yeah.
I'm I'm sure he had to be weird, though. I mean, normal people don't just go from
And then go
0
back to work.
100.
Like, obviously, he
Right.
wasn't scared of being caught.
No, he just went right back to work like it was nothing. So I did see that when William Cheney was a police officer, he was a police superintendent. He went to where Frederick was staying, and upon arrival, he was given a bundle labeled portions of a child.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe he was going to eat part of her intestines or her vagina. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that works.
He seems like a pedophile, like the whole cutting the vagina.
Oh, he's got some vibes about him for sure.
Like, did he plan to keep it and, like,
use it?
pleasure himself with it? Like,
maybe. I mean, can you really understand these kind of people's minds? No.
I mean, he's not insane. He's psycho. Like, he's...
I don't think he's insane. I think he's just...
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's just crazy. Heartless. And I don't know how anybody could... Especially how he just goes about his day like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, just go right back to work. Lunch is over. I got to get back. And, there's blood on me, but whatever.
Chicken was raw. I had to cook it first.
I mean, I had to kill the chicken first. What did you have for lunch today?
That's saying, though, they must be killing the chicken. That's...
Apparently oh my God. Like, just... And
but it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if he did eat.
It could be.
Eat some of it.
Just
maybe
raw.
That's why it couldn't be found.
Maybe. Just raw dogging it and just eating it right there.
Oh my God, that's gross. But then he would have it on his mouth, you would think. Unless he, like, wiped it off.
Wash it. Well, he went down by the river to put her eyeballs there, so maybe he's cleaning his mouth.
That makes it more trouble. So gross.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
It's very sad. I mean, she's an 8-year-old little girl. I know we're...
So did they just bury all of her...
They actually sewed her body back together after her autopsy, and they had her... That's what they did for the funeral. Of course, she was missing part of her body.
Could you imagine, though? That would be hard.
Well, it's the Victorian age, too, so I'm sure her dress went all the way up to her throat, and then it was, you didn't show ankles back then.
I mean, for them to have to sew it back and...
Yeah. And as a mother, knowing that you had to collect your daughter's body parts to be sewn back together for the funeral.
Nope.
And I'm sorry, but there was gawkers there. I'm sure not just people that loved her was there. I'm sure half the town went.
Yeah.
Just to try to get a look at little Fanny.
Well, yeah, because that's weird.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Would you have went to the funeral? I'm going to say yes. I would be that person that would walk
I would want to. But I don't know.
I think I would. I know that's awful.
I mean, obviously, like, I would go. It's a child,
But I would
like to be respectful, but I'm sure curiosity would get the best, and I would want to go.
Yeah, and back then it was normal, like in our story of Pearl Run, they just took parts of it for the mud.
We sound psycho.
Well, maybe a little.
But I'm not like gonna go out and kill somebody or something.
No, I'm not gonna collect their blood either. But I'm sorry, everybody has a curiosity, and you can say what you want, but you would take a gander if it was offered to you.
I would.
Everybody.
If it wasn't personal to me. Now, if it was a child that was close and personal, I knew personally, I would not.
No,
I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, and I would not let anybody in
because
either.
it would be
as an
emotional
mother or something,
yeah.
But as an outsider, I'd be curious.
Yeah, outside, not knowing the child personally, or somebody I'd never seen before, it would still be hard. Yeah, because that's a child.
Yeah, she's an 8-year-old little girl.
Well, even an adult, I mean, that would be hard to see.
Oh yeah.
But definitely an innocent kid.
For sure. Yeah, if it was an adult, I'd still take another look. I'd want to look too. But that's just curiosity. Not because I'm crazy, but...
That's like how we like to look at the graves.
Right. It's not something that happens every day.
Peace of it. Like, I don't think of it in like a weird, creepy way. Like,
no,
it's more like paying respect to them.
Well, I mean, I went all over Houston looking for victims' graves. I spent like 2 days doing this in the heat. My poor husband went with me. And it wasn't because I just wanted to be like, oh my God, that kid was killed by Dean Coral. It was just, I'm sorry. I hate that this happened. and it was respectful. Like I didn't.
Well, the same way when we went to see Sylvia.
Yeah. And it's curiosity is all it
Well,
is.
I feel like it kind of closes like our research too to just see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like give us, because we can say that we're not just doing it.
Yeah.
Because we're weird.
No, it's something happened. It's a fascinating
but
story.
we
It's
go and
awful.
pay our respect to the victim.
Right.
That's just what we do.
It's a fascinating story, and I like to see. It's just like if you call somebody, you want to get a face with a name sometimes, or a voice, or whatever.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I think we're weird, though.
We are weird. I will give you that. But we are no weirder than anybody else, and I don't care what anybody else says.
Well, we would never go kill somebody either.
No.
And it's not just like we're fascinated with it because, we're psycho like them or we want to get tips or anything.
No, I'm fascinated by what in the world were you thinking?
The mind works.
What snapped in your mind to make you cross that line?
And I don't believe like the whole, I get you can have childhood trauma. I get it.
Yeah.
But like to what point does it make you say, well, I had a bad childhood, so I'm going to go ruin somebody else's by killing them. Like, that's what I don't get. Like,
Right.
What in your mind makes you go that far?
There has to be some kind of brain haywire or something. Like, something's not...
Like a chemical imbalance somewhere.
Something's not normal. I mean, people have bad childhoods and they don't go kill people. They pick themselves up and go on and just live their life. It sucks what happened, but I hope it makes you a better person.
Yeah, because you would think like, oh, well, that got done to me, so I don't want that to happen to anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be a better person.
Absolutely.
But I guess not everybody thinks that way.
No, some people have wonky brains, I guess.
And some people are just legit crazy.
I think some people are evil.
I guess so.
Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed the story of sweet Fanny Adams. I know it was 1867 that this happened, but please remember her. Remember all kids that are being hurt by anybody out there. And honestly, I'm glad that they took care of business right after she was murdered, and he never walked another day on earth after December 24th. So, Merry Christmas to Fanny's family. Thanks, guys.